What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to the Last Flight Show. I'm your host, Jake Klein. Joining me today are my co-hosts, Matt Hicks and Zachary.
Let's go.
The man of many wisdoms, I guess. He'll say a little bit, but then...
It depends. Some days he's just a robot. He's just here.
Just looking at
he just chimes in every now and then. But other days he takes over the show.
He says something, and then Matt and I look at each other like, did that just come out of his mouth?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Depends how long I've been hanging out with Matt that week.
That's true.
That's where all your knowledge has come from.
Pretty low this week, so it might be more knowledge based and less storytelling.
All right, so the Ducks haven't moved, so we're not going to do the update on the Ducks because they're just kind of hanging out.
Our duck hasn't moved.
Yeah, ours specifically.
The goat has not moved.
The goat.
He is just still eating in his pasture.
Yeah.
He bounces around a little bit, but I mean, like 85 days, he's only moved 200 miles in his little circle, his pasture.
Little loafing area.
But the pintails, they got pintails up in North Dakota from Mexico. Got some widgeon from Southern California. They're up in, I think it's Alberta. And then some around the Salt Lake. So birds are moving. But, I mean, really no shoveler on the map has moved yet. So, honestly, any day they'll be moving. And it could be just a 2-day thing and they're up near Canada somewhere. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I'm just kind of waiting. I'm excited to see what he does. But,
yeah.
So far, no excitement.
I mean, he's got to like where he's at, obviously.
I guess maybe he's got a bird feeder he's eating on. He ain't leaving or something. I don't know.
If he got stuck in a pen, like a cage or something.
Can we get a health and wellness check on him?
I don't know if we can do that or not. I'll have to reach out to dispatch and see.
We might have to go down there ourselves.
I'm gonna go down there and see where that thing's at.
Yeah, because they caught him, and then he didn't really move much after that.
I mean, he's been moving. There's been like 2,000 updates on him.
Yeah.
In 85 days, but he's just not migrating. He's just hanging out where he's at.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Just hanging out. So.
All right. Well, what else we're going to talk about today is we've got a couple new things in the works that are here now.
New products.
Yep. We'll talk about some of those, and then what are you doing?
I wonder what it is.
Did you?
Well, it's also there.
Did you feel left out? Like I got one here.
Oh, they're
Did
everywhere.
you feel left
they're
out?
literally everywhere.
He put it there. I didn't put it there.
Oh. I thought you put it there because you felt left out.
No, it was down here, and all of a sudden he's like,
Gotta let people know.
Oh my
Shed
God.
some light on the situation.
literally.
Oh, and then then we're going to talk about some photography stuff, wildlife stuff. So
We tell some stories. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
See what happens.
yeah, we've got a bunch of guests scheduled and coming on that we're scheduling right now. This week it's just going to be us. We're just going to hang out, and every once in a while we'll do that. We'll just have the crew, and we'll talk about some new things and whatever else is going on. Yeah, within the next couple of weeks, starting next week, we should have some pretty cool guests on. We do have some really cool guests coming on. I'm not going to say
Said that 3 times.
I'm not going to. I know. I'm not going to. Well, I'm excited about them, but I'm not going to say who they are yet. But
Well, it's like if you tell them and then it doesn't happen for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Then people are like, they're not coming on.
Right,
It's just
yeah.
like this turkey call,
Yeah.
Said I wouldn't talk about it, but
yeah, here we
people
go.
are like,
What turkey call?
this thing don't even exist.
Yeah.
Don't.
We don't have pot calls. We don't. We got diaphragms.
But anyways.
We've hand turned 3. That's it.
Yeah. Just got one for the pictures. This is the longest running April Fool's joke of all time. Y'all been played.
Oh yeah.
Anyhow.
I thought we were going to talk about that, but it's fine.
Yeah, okay. That's it. No more. Because it makes me mad.
No. It's fine.
All right. You guys have anything before we get this ball rolling?
Let's get it rolling.
All right, Zach.
Hit it.
Okay. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Last Flight Show, brought to you by Last Flight Calls and Gear. This episode starts now.
And we're back. Oh man.
All right, we're back.
All right, so welcome back to the show. Obviously, you can tell that this one's going to be a little crazy. It's going to be fun,
Crazy.
funny, but
We just like to have fun, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, and we need that every once in
It's
a while.
Friday,
Yeah,
end of the week.
yeah.
We should just get up and leave and then come back and be like, oh, we're back. Oh.
Slapping headsets on.
Yeah, there's so much work going on, and I mean it's pretty serious stuff, and then so it is nice to kind of chill and have a good time and laugh a little bit more, and
It can get pretty stressful in here, so
yeah,
it's nice on at least Friday morning just to
for an hour.
try to let it go.
Yeah,
There's been times where we just had to cancel it because I was too stressed out.
yeah. We've had so far we've only had it done once.
It's only happened once.
We've
been able to control my stress.
yeah. We just kind of Zach and I just like working the shop,
It's
like
just, it's just nice to have fun and talk hunting, and
yeah, for sure.
which opening day for turkey season is tomorrow.
Tomorrow it is turkey season eve right now.
Yeah, for the South
So-
Zone.
South Zone, yep.
So
Yep.
I am not going.
I will be out there.
Jake will be out there.
We actually, because we're supposed to get some rain, and so I have not missed an opening day since I was 7 years old. So it's just like, even if it is pouring down rain, that goes for deer or
Yeah.
turkey.
So that's duck hunting for me.
Yeah, like if it's rain or shine, like I'm going, and I may only be out there for an hour, and then I'll go home. But at least I can say I hunted opening day.
Yeah.
But what we did was we went out this morning and we listened for some gobbles. The birds have actually been in the field in the same corner that we're going to be hunting tomorrow for the last couple of weeks, every morning and every evening. And we went out there to talk about. Hello?
Who is that?
I don't
Is that Reese?
know.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Anyways,
So
He might have been trying to mow.
oh,
Yep,
yeah.
that sucks.
Would that suck if we just like open the door and they just grab the mower?
He just went walking.
He did.
I don't know what he's doing.
He's probably coming back here. So anyway, so
Might as well get him on you.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
God.
About ran us over here in the shop when we first
Oh
moved
my
in, like
God.
3 years ago.
Yes.
Had his car on the lift. Got a car lift right here, and I've got like CNC mill, my laser engraver, like workbench right in front of the car lift. Well, he gets his car on the lift, does his brakes. You can already tell this is going.
Yeah.
Well,
Does it all.
No, I think everything was done.
Yeah, everything was done.
Yeah.
Sets the car down, and he didn't like pump
They-
his brakes up, you know.
They
just-
had to move the car forward to get one of the arms out from the lift.
yeah.
And so he went to do that, and it just kept
He puts
going.
it in drive. Well, he never pumped his brakes, so his first go at the brakes was just nothing.
To the
right?
floor.
It went to the floor, and the car is just going forward into everything.
He's
Ow, dude!
he's sitting there. He looks over. He's like,
It won't stop.
it was the slowest accident you've ever watched.
It was the slowest
Slow.
accident ever.
Like, did no damage to the car.
Oh my gosh!
Oh man.
But anyways,
Yeah, that was his buddy.
Yeah, I don't know.
His buddy was with him, the mechanic.
He
And
keeps
he's
looking
like,
in the window. Like, what's going on in there? Now he's walking away.
he can text me. Anyhow,
Anyway,
turkey season.
so-
you got your spots all scouted out.
Yeah,
ready to
so
roll.
we went and talked to the landowner earlier this week, and she has said that they've been like, literally in her backyard. So we went out this morning.
You're one of those
shooting him
guys.
from the porch.
Yeah. So we went out this morning and we put blinds out because we're going to hunt out of blinds, and there's going to be 4 people. It'll be me and my wife, and then it'll be my dad and my brother. Mm-hmm. And this is actually the first year that Ashley has joined us on our yearly opening day tradition. Yeah, so
That's cool.
And so
Expanding.
yeah, because of the weather, we knew we wanted to be in a blind because obviously for cameras and things like that. And then so
Could be raining tomorrow. Like right now,
Yeah.
it's gonna be 80 degrees today.
yeah.
There's a cold front moving in and some weather. I don't know exactly when it's gonna hit, but it's probably gonna be raining in the morning.
Yeah, it was supposed to start thunderstorming tonight,
Okay.
but that got pushed out. Now it's just going to be cloudy, and it's supposed to start raining around 6 a.m.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's right before shooting time, because shooting time's right around 7 o'clock, or I'm sorry, sunrise is right around 7 o'clock, so we can shoot at 6:30, something like that. But
How are they going to react to the rain? What do you think they're going to be doing?
So they're going to want to be in the field usually. That's usually where they go in the rain. So it's pretty. It's nicer right now because they want to be in the field anyway. They've been in the field every morning and every evening anyway. So it's just going to maybe hurry up that process. I don't know where they're going right off of the roost. So this morning they were gobbling probably 150 yards away from where we put the blinds up. Because there's 4 of us, we have 2 blinds, and they're side by side. So we were opening the side windows on each of them, and that way we can still communicate, but we're not crammed into one blind. And turkeys don't care about blinds. Like the deer, you can't take a blind out and set it out and then expect to be able to hunt the next day, and the deer not care about it. Like they know it's changed, they know it's not right, they can smell it, everything else. Turkeys don't care. You could literally put a blind up in the middle of a field and put decoys out, and they just don't care.
I thought they were the smartest animal in the woods.
They're the smartest, dumbest birds in the woods.
And they still got a pea-sized brain.
They do. They have a pea-sized brain.
How smart can you be with it?
I know. So the plan is that there's a field kind of off of ours. It's not between us and them. It's all woods between us and them, but there's a field on the other side, and they fly down on that field, I think, and then they come from that field into ours. So hopefully, we've never, since I've been 7, we've never killed a bird on opening day. We've killed birds on the second day, but we've never killed a bird on opening day. So hopefully tomorrow morning is going to be.
That's not good. I would not. You did not have to say that to the 60 people out there.
I mean, it is
I think I'd
what
start
it is.
missing some opening days.
We just lost our 60 people that actually watched this show.
Hold up, I'll catch y'all on day 2. That's why I've been sleeping in.
So we won't have an opening day recap. We'll have a day 2.
Why are you even going out Saturday then? Just go out Sunday.
It's tradition, man. You got to go out opening day.
I'm getting texts.
Oh gosh.
I want them all.
Nope.
Okay.
Needs to do his breaks.
Yeah.
So
get on the left?
So that's the plan for tomorrow morning, and hopefully either Ashley or Dad gets a bird. So I'm gonna be running the camera. I'm probably not even buy a tag today. And then
That's how I do it.
yeah.
Shoot my bird by the tag.
I'm going to wait till the very
No.
last second.
I'm kidding. I've never even seen a turkey. So.
That
I
really
actually-
shows your confidence on shooting something.
I actually last
not
year
good.
last year I didn't even buy my tag until like halfway through the season, just because I didn't hunt. Like I was running the camera and I had plenty of people who try to get birds. So I would rather run a camera than shoot a gun anyway.
Yeah.
So
that's what I hate about the rain is
I know
it
yeah.
makes the bird look
It's terrible,
nasty.
Yeah, and
all
that's
greased up.
That's what we were talking about. Like I would hate to. I mean,
I don't think I would ever hunt in the rain just out of that fact of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get this one bird a year here that I'm just going to,
Yeah.
I don't want to hunt it in the rain. I want to hunt it when it's
Right.
like it is today.
yeah, you want that
know.
sucker gobbling good because they won't. They may
I mean,
not.
it was 68, 70 degrees this morning.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the wind was blowing, but it's nice
Yeah.
out, man.
Yeah.
I want the bird nice and fluffed up. Like, I don't want it all matted down.
Right.
But
Yeah.
maybe if it was like the last day of season and I didn't have a bird, but
Well, and if it's raining too, a lot of times they won't leave the roost right away. So they'll sit up there, which is weird. Which brings me to another point, like because last weekend was youth season, and so Braley and I went out and we were walking in, and I looked over and I thought that I saw a turkey in the tree. And it was a hen, and I could see once I backed up a little bit, I could see the feathers. But this bird wasn't but 10 feet off of the ground, and I saw her. I'm like, "There's a freaking turkey right there!" But it was dark enough to where she was still sleeping. She didn't know we were there, and so we backed out and we went about 50 to 60 yards away from her, and then put the decoys out. And I thought this could play out perfect because she may come down out of the roost right into this field and then start yelping, and then the toms are going to come out into this
bringing
field.
Tom with her.
Yeah, and I didn't hear normally when they wake up on the limb, like they'll yelp a little bit or they'll cut a little bit, just little small little tree yelps. I never heard her, so I'm like, did she just pitch across the river and we just never heard it or what? And we ended up leaving. I had to leave at like 8:30, and I went out to get the decoys and I looked over and she was still sitting in the tree. And this was like
What the
a
heck?
beautiful day, a sunny day. Like she should have been out of the tree an hour ago, and she's just chilling up there.
So what's up with that, you think?
So I think that just because we actually had it, like we had we had coyotes attack our decoys Saturday morning, and so I think that may have a little bit to do with it. Ground predators. I don't know if they're not leaving the roost at a certain time. Because,
really waiting for it to be light. Or,
yeah, because most of the predators are most active. Like if they're active during daylight hours, they're active first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm, right.
And so that may have something to do with it. Or she just, for whatever reason, like turkeys, just when you think you've got them figured out, like they'll make you look stupid.
Right. Yeah.
So, but I don't know. But yeah, going back to the rain and tomorrow, they may stay up in the roost a lot longer. That's what they normally do if it's raining or overcast, something like that. They may not gobble as much on their limb, but what we have going for us is they're using this field anyway. So
you mean the backyard?
Yeah, I mean realistically we're probably
the field is her backyard.
250 yards away from the back of the house is where we're hunting at. But there's a couple of different groups of birds that have been feeding around there. They've got a little pond next to the house, and the birds will come up and they'll hang
Sounds like a
around the pond.
sanctuary.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some teal out there this morning.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that's the plan for tomorrow morning anyway. And then Sunday we may make a change and do some running and gunning stuff on a different property.
Yeah.
But
Can you bait turkeys?
no,
So how much corn you got out there?
I have none.
They really like
I
that
have none.
spot.
Yeah,
They've been in that
old
corner.
ladies out there. Yeah.
We
They've been in that corner morning and night.
we actually
he has none. He didn't say nothing about the old lady.
That's
out
true.
there.
I didn't know she was doing that.
I had no idea.
we actually had a property a couple years back that we still have the property, but we don't hunt it very often. But they have a big deer feeder like in the middle of the field, and you can see it from the road. And I went out there the one day to scout, and I saw the deer feeder, and I'm like, this is not going to be good because so the deer feeder can be on the property, and I mean, and actually feed can be on the property, but you cannot kill a turkey on its way to or from.
Right.
Like if that feed does anything to impact the movement of the turkeys, you cannot kill them doing that. But this feeder didn't have any feed in. Like I looked at it, didn't have any feed in it at all. It didn't look like it had feed in it for a long time. Been sitting there since deer season was over, and just went out and got it. But we did not hunt that property because of that feeder. Like I was so worried that a game warden was going to pull up and see my truck parked
sure,
there.
the game warden's seen it.
Yeah.
He's just maybe probably waiting.
Yeah, exactly. And so we didn't hunt it, but we've got a couple properties that we hunt that do have feeders on them. I mean, they're dry as a bone, and I'm pretty. I get very nervous.
Yeah. It's tough when you're sharing the woods with a deer hunter.
Yeah, and they don't, especially if they don't turkey hunt.
Yeah.
Like some guys will feed year round, and
True.
if even landowners like, and that's a problem too. Is it's like if you have a landowner that deer hunts and he wants to feed his deer year round, and you've got permission to turkey hunt from that landowner, but he doesn't know any different.
Yeah,
he doesn't know that you can't bait turkeys.
That's
and
your problem, not his.
And you can't just go up to a landowner and be like, hey, stop baiting your deer. It's like it's your land. So it's just like there's tons of birds there, but you just can't do anything with it just because. I mean, and maybe you could. It may not impact the way that the turkeys are moving, but you'd have to imagine if there's, free, easy picking food all over the ground, like that's where the turkeys are going to go.
Right.
So, but, I mean, you can hunt. I mean, you can hunt the regular crop fields and things like that, but you can't hunt any kind of baited areas. So, but I don't know. It gets a little tricky sometimes.
A little
just 'cause-
dicey.
Yeah.
It'd make it easier if they just get rid of baiting for deer. It's so
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you can do it for them.
Which, so not to get on the
Get rid of it.
topic
Oh,
of,
here we go.
Not to get on the topic of baiting for deer. I don't care. I mean, it just, we don't like to shoot deer over bait, over corn piles and things like that. If I take Braley out or Bryson and it's youth season, and I want the deer to stand there and give them a good shot, then I'll put some bait out. I'll put a little pile of corn out or something, just to give them something to stop at. But a lot of times,
That's when I gave him the old. And they stop in their tracks.
Well, you got to give them the same size sound as what the deer is.
But if you, a lot of times,
We're going to have to tell that story sometime.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, I think it's okay. You were like,
Hey, I didn't bait it.
yeah,
I'm a level
you
up.
shot it like a real man.
I did.
Yeah, I don't believe in that baiting crap.
You shot it straight from the womb of the mother.
That is not true.
Hey, the mother was nowhere to be seen.
That deer was out of the womb for 8 months. I'm good.
Or
No.
8 weeks, maybe.
No, tell the story.
8 weeks,
Tell the
maybe.
story. You've got to now.
The last spot had just been covered up by dirt.
Oh, I'm not a deer hunter. First off, so if it's brown, it's down. You know what I'm saying? And
You know what I mean?
Also, you were like 12, 13.
I think I was 16. I think I could.
Okay, well, you can make it worse if you want. That's fine.
Yeah,
I was
whatever.
trying to help you.
Hey, I was very young, at a very young age. So yeah, I just went out hunting. It was like November, and it's the stupidest story ever.
You started it. You might as well tell it.
And I mean, just in this tree stand, there's a woods to my left. I kind of paint the picture. Woods to my left. Then I'm in a tree line, heavy, thick tree line. And the deer come out, follow that tree line east. Then they cut up and go north across the field. So that was an email.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Where did
the
that
computer
come
just-
from?
I was like, I've been here before. We get no recording in.
And then,
The computer just turned off.
and yeah. Why's that light blinking?
What light?
That record light.
Because it's recording.
I thought it usually just stays red.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought it stayed solid too.
Yeah, I did too.
Wait.
Go check it.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
I'll keep talking. But
We're probably just losing our minds.
anyways, so I knew this. It was hunting evening. I knew this deer was gonna pop out and go to the tree line because it's what they've been doing. Oh, we're running out of batteries. Oh,
It's not on the chart. The cord.
Jake, isn't the cord right here?
The cord was right there. We forgot to put the power cord on. Producer's getting a pay cut today.
Hurry. I'll keep telling the story. But so this deer pops out of the woods, and this woods is probably 50, 80 yards down. I don't know. It's down there. Deer pops out, makes a right-hand turn, comes down the tree line in front of me, and this is like a thick tree line with some Pheasants Forever grass planted in it. So it's like 20 yards from me to the deer because it's on the edge of the Pheasants Forever in the cornfield. And it's coming along.
That was
And
solid.
man, it's a good thing I caught that. The producer's like, "Yeah, what you talking about?" I don't know, bud.
What you got?
Anyways, so this deer comes out, just trotting along, and I'm like, I got to stop this thing. So that thing, whoop, stopped right in its tracks. So I pulled up my bow. Drop it right there. And the thing started trying to crawl away. Just like, oh no. I probably shouldn't tell the story. This isn't very
Yeah, you were young.
yeah, you're right, I was young.
Who hasn't?
Yeah.
I mean, they
Hit him in the back right leg and broke his leg. And I'm young. Everyone's always said when you hit him with the bow and it's still doing its thing, like just let it go, let it bleed out. I'm like, okay, well, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So I sit in here for 2 hours. Sun sets. And I'm just like, still crawling away. I'm like, all right. So I got to get out and go up, finish this thing. Like, I don't have anything but my bow. So I'm right here trying to shoot it again. Pull back, let it fly, and I totally miss. It's like, oh my gosh, this is freaking terrible. And finally got it on the second try. But after that, I quit deer hunting.
then he walked over to it, picked it up, threw it on his shoulders, and walked on out.
It was shorter than my bow.
I was going to say it was as short as your bow.
Like the bow, say, is this like wide, long, tall? The deer was like a good bit shorter. So I'm not a deer hunter. Frankly, I didn't know what I was doing back then. But
Hey, remember when I told you
terrible story.
when we started this and you asked me what the title was going to be?
No.
And I said that we never know what the title is going to be until after it's over anyway. I think I've got the title.
That is true.
What?
I think we're going to title it Shit Show.
You good?
I think that's what we're going to do.
That's what you're gonna do.
Yeah. All right. So anyway,
What's next?
so let's talk about some of the new.
Let's start with this one right here.
I don't even remember what we were talking about before that.
Well, we were talking about turkeys, and then I went to deer, and then
We're gonna talk about. We got 2 new products here on the table. I'm wearing one. Then obviously you've seen the other, but I'll talk about this. This is a new lanyard, kind of going for like a high end kind of feel. Got the leather on it. And all the gold
medallions.
all the gold things on it.
The gold
It's a
things.
thicker lanyard. Feels good. All the gold clasps and everything. This is a 7 call drop lanyard.
Hey, boy.
I know some guys are like, yeah, buddy. And then other guys are like, you're an idiot. You can remove them. So save yourself the hassle of all that. But good thing is, too, like you can, if you only want to take 3 calls, you can rig up, you can rig up all your calls and trade them out like for whatever hunt you're doing real easily. But yeah, just kind of a different feel, kind of a classier, higher end lanyard. Still got the paracord, but added this leather strap and all the gold to it, and more call drops. So got these in like this dark camo looking. We got them in black and gold, and then kind of a lighter camo. I don't even know what you would call this color, but
it's like a gray camo.
You're looking at it, but this is kind of probably my favorite one. I like this one. But
Yeah.
Got our logo there got the leather piece down at the end. And these will fit your goose bands on here. This is thick, but it will fit your goose bands. Duck bands, you can just put, the head of your call. If you got a lot of duck bands, I'm sorry, but you can fit a lot of goose bands.
One thing I was just thinking about, just looking at this,
Yeah.
is okay. So let's say, that you're hunting geese instead of ducks. Like so ducks goes out before goose, right? And so maybe you have goose calls on certain ones or duck calls or whatever, and you don't want to take a full lanyard out with you. Then all you would have to do is unclip your goose calls off of there, or your duck calls. So then all you have is your goose calls. Right. And then when you get back, you just clip your goose calls right back on.
Yeah, you just trade
You don't
out.
have to worry about having a full lanyard out there.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, these are pretty cool. I don't know when I'll get them listed. Probably
Probably about the same time pot calls.
probably before this podcast comes out. It takes you forever to do.
It's a lot of work, man.
A lot of work.
It is.
But no, we got that. Pretty cool lanyard, I think. And then we got a headlamp. So I'm gonna put this thing on.
Oh, buddy.
Oh boy.
Pretty cool headlamp. Got our logos around the headband. It's weird talking without the headphones on.
I could hear it smack your forehead every time you did that.
Ow, golly. Oh, it's upside down. Hang on.
Jeez.
You're going to have a concussion.
Sounds worse on the mic.
I can imagine.
Mic picks up everything. All right, back in action. So this is waterproof headlamp. Waterproof headlamp. You got 6 modes. You got your bright. Then you can dim it. That's like your, I don't know. I call it bright. Opposite of floodlight. Spot. So you got your bright spot. Your dimmer one. Then you can get into your floodlight. Then a dimmer flood. Then your red light. Then your flashing red.
In case you've fallen and
If you're walking through public land turkey hunting opening day, you can use this. Be careful out there. And yeah, pretty cool. Rechargeable. Here, give me this one.
Battery indicator.
Yeah, one thing I had to have on this was the battery indicator. So see those blue lights? There's 4 lights. So obviously if all 4 are on, it's fully charged. That was one thing when we were doing this was like I was so mad at all the headlamps out there that we had. We had headlamps from everybody, and none of them had the battery light on them, and I would forget to charge them. So you didn't know, if you jumped in the boat and turned your light on and you didn't charge it that night, you didn't know if it was going to last 2 minutes
Right.
or the whole time, And this will at least tell you forewarn you, like, hey, it's not going to work.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, probably not going to work long. That's kind of nice. Does have the smart motion deal, so like got gloves on, you can turn it on and off with the motion. What else am I missing? Fully adjustable head strap. You get a hook on the back.
Everybody wants to know.
So if you wanna hang it in your blind.
1,200 lumen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta get onto that.
They got to get juiced about that,
Yeah. Let's see here.
Okay. Oh, the model number.
Model number.
High strength housing, ultra bright.
So yeah, obviously rechargeable. The charging cable comes with it. You ain't gotta worry about that. 6 modes, 1,200 lumens. It's a 5-piece LED, waterproof. Pretty sweet light. Built to hunt.
I think it's pretty cool to see, to think about where Last Flight started, just being obviously calls.
Yeah.
And to see how much it's grown into all kinds of different things,
I made this whole box. I'm kind of proud of it.
It is
I
a sweet
guess.
box.
I mean, like, it's cool to design something and then finally see it
Yeah.
in person, and like all of our headlamps here, and it's like, I don't know, it's a pretty sweet box.
Yeah.
So, and the light's pretty cool too. Don't
Pretty
forget
sweet
that.
box.
But,
USB-C charging. So I think everybody's about got a USB-C cord at home. I mean, it comes with one, but
Yeah,
You know.
you can use any of them, and your light and stuff comes with all the directions, and if you need that. But yeah, I saw a headlamp you can use and abuse, and you can trust.
are these on the website now?
These are not on the website,
On the website.
but they will be soon. Yeah, we used them all last season, and there's actually another one too that we were using that we like, but it's kind of a different style. Has like a really big spotlight, like the ones with the battery pack on the back, and
Yeah,
looks like
yeah.
a coal miner light.
Yeah.
like, one of those. That's really cool. But for this year, we got this one, and we tested it all last year and really liked it, and it is freaking bright.
Yeah.
Like, it is. It's a pretty bright light. I mean, look at that. Woo, signaling Batman. Oh God.
Got himself.
Yeah, look forward to that, and the new lanyards. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, there are still new things coming down the pipe for this year, so stay tuned. But for right now, it's like the most new things we've ever done. So
Yeah.
kind of cool, just expanding, growing. So
It is cool.
We're kind of trying to take stuff that we use all the time that
Right.
has little features that nobody else
Yeah.
has in it that we want.
Right.
Like something it's simple, but like having the battery charge, how
Yeah.
full it is. Just different stuff like that, and more tailor fitting it to what we like, because we assume there's other people
Right.
that want that as well.
Right. Yeah.
yeah, and some of it's just like, why didn't you do that?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff out there that's like missing one or two features, and then it would make it a slam dunk. It's just like, why didn't they do that?
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of our approach on some of it, is just not only just new ideas, but just trying to make whatever else is out there even better
Yeah.
than it was. So, and we're hardcore hunters, and so whatever we make is going to be built to hunt and built to last and go through multiple seasons.
Yeah.
Not just a couple hunts.
Yeah.
And it's starting to rip or tear or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and it's also something that we stand behind. Like, if anybody's got any problems with any of our stuff, gear or calls or anything, I mean, everybody knows that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we stand behind all the stuff. So
And that's what's nice about you guys putting those through the paces last year is that it's not like it's a product that you're just selling to sell. Like it's actually been used and proven. And, I think a lot of people, they find let's take a headlamp, for example, and they like it, looks cool. They put their logo on it and then sell it and have never actually used it or put it through its paces. They may get to a customer and work for 2 or 3 hunts and then all of a sudden it doesn't work anymore.
Right.
So being able and knowing that you guys have put those through the paces all last season, then that's a big thing.
It's important to us. I mean, you've got to field test it because there's no other test other than putting it through a season of waterfowl hunting. Like there's no other test.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing like it. Like it's such a
Harsh
can be such
conditions.
a long, grueling season.
Yeah.
And you're in the roughest, harshest conditions.
Right.
You're wet, cold, freezing. 10 degrees, snow. Whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't do it without putting it through waterfowl season.
Yeah.
You can't do a true test without that.
Yeah. And I like the size of it. So like for the power that you're getting out of it, the light and the brightness that you're getting out of it, the size of it is nice because, it's something that you can take off and then put in your pocket and not actually feel that it's even in there.
Yeah.
You know what I
it's
mean?
it's nice and small and compact.
Yeah.
So like just wad it up and put it in your blind bag or your coat pocket and it's not very big. So yeah. Good for a blind light too. Like I said, it's got that hook on it. You can just put that hook up in your blind and just hang it somewhere.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's a good light. I like it. I think a lot of people are going to like it. So.
Yeah. One thing I do want to talk about is the diaphragm calls that are on the website right now.
Yeah.
So we have the 3 calls. We have the snake tongue, and then we have the fang, and then we have the combo cut. And so this past weekend was a really good opportunity for me to get these calls out. These calls have been used, they've been proven, but this was my first weekend getting them out and using them. And I knew we talked about on the last podcast the different sounds. I guess it was 2 podcasts ago is when we talked about the diaphragms and the different sounds. But then it's a whole nother story when you can get them out into the field and actually use them and just see how the birds react to them and things like that. And I was actually more impressed and happy with these calls than I ever have with any other call.
Yeah.
Just like the ease of using these calls. Just they don't take much pressure to use, and I was able to use so later in the day, turkeys, they're not typically as they don't gobble as much. They're not doing their coming to a call or trying. You're usually working off in loafing areas with their hens and things like that. So if you get a turkey to gobble in the midday, you're doing pretty good, unless he's gobbling on his own already.
Yeah.
And I used the snake tongue, which is the white one, and I was able to get a turkey to gobble from well farther than what I ever would have. Normally in that situation, I would have used a box call, and because I didn't want to go in and spook turkeys, so I wanted to try to get one to gobble. That way I knew where he was at.
Yeah.
And this sucker gobbled all the way in the back of the property.
Yeah.
And the keys on that were insane. But the cutting is what really worked. Like we should have killed a bird Saturday had I set up in the right spot. But yeah, those you can buy the 3-pack on the website. You can buy the calls individually, but the 3-pack is really the way to go, just because you're going to need all
Most
3 of
bang
them
for
at
your
some
buck.
point. Yeah. And each one of them has a different.
You're going to go through 3 of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might as well get 3 of them.
And realistically, I mean, you're going to use all 3 of them on a hunt because all of them serve different purposes.
Yeah. They all sound totally different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally different levels of rasp and everything.
Yeah.
Tones and everything.
Yeah. So those are really good. But now what? Just kidding. All right. One thing we.
I don't know. You're the producer, bro.
One thing that we actually wanted to talk about before we started the podcast, and one of we wanted to talk about obviously the headlamps and the lanyards and things, and this is kind of the stuff we can talk about when we don't have guests, because then we can dive more into the product. And that's what we'll use, our shop talk videos or whatever it is we decide to name them. But normally our guest podcasts are gonna come with a purpose. I've reached out to these guys, and there's a purpose on what we're gonna record. But when we do these, it's just an opportunity for us to kind of explain what's going on in the shop, different things coming out, stuff like this. But then it also allows us to have our own kind of conversations within, the group. Of different subjects. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was we're going to go back to the wildlife photography, right? So, in different situations and things that people may or may not necessarily think about when they think about wildlife photography. There's been plenty of times to where I've been driving down the road, like that last picture of the turkey gobbling. I was literally driving down the road. We spotted a flock of turkeys, and he was out there gobbling 50 yards from the road, and that's where that picture had come from. So sometimes, like some of these pictures, I don't have to go out and actually follow these birds around and get that opportunity. It's just, and that's why I carry a camera with me in the vehicle when I'm out scouting turkeys, for that reason. But there's also the times to where, and I think most situations for wildlife photographers is to getting in close to the subject that you're trying to photograph and having a specific subject that you're wanting to photograph. So when I first got into more serious wildlife photography, you and I had went out, and we went to a specialist spot. I'm not going to say exactly where it was at.
Come on.
It's public ground. Like, anybody can go there. It's not like it's a secret.
I don't know. People sure treat public like a secret.
I know. But we actually went, and
it was Salt Fork. People were wondering. The Ohio boys will get it.
Yeah.
So, but that day, Matt had texted me, and he said, "Do you have waders?" And I'm like, no. Like, why do we need waders for? And it was just one of those things to where, realistically, in the location that we were in, we didn't necessarily need 600 millimeter, 500 millimeter lens.
Yeah.
And which honestly, I don't think I used at my full focal range the entire time we were there.
Yeah.
But that's just the thing, is getting close to the subject, and that's kind of the biggest thing with wildlife photography, is the closer the better. We went out, and we had a sled full of decoys, and then waders, and we got right on the edge, like we were basically in the water. And then we had the decoys out in front of us, and the mojos and things like that, and
we were laying there all camoed up.
Yeah.
Branches over us type deal, laying there in the mud.
Yep. And it was the craziest thing because, you're so used to, or I was so used to trying to photograph these birds from a distance and just never really, I guess, getting the full wildlife photography experience. And I think there's a difference between, photographing wildlife and being a wildlife photographer.
Yeah, that's true.
And then in a way that if you're photographing wildlife, it's something that you're not really doing the extra. You're walking around lakes and things like that, and you're trying to find the birds. You're just driving around, stuff like that. But then being a wildlife photographer, like, you're invested in it, and you're
in the wild.
Yes, exactly. And then the way that you go about setting up and photographing. That was a Zach comment right there. is totally different.
No,
and
it is.
And I think that was actually my first wildlife photography experience. If you talk about the differences between the two, I've never had. We had teal that were like flying in front of our face.
Yeah, you're used to sitting there with a tripod, getting everything all smooth and stuff. You can't use a tripod.
No, and I learned
what
that.
we were doing.
I learned that because I brought the tripod.
Because them teal are coming in, like from here to the camera, and they're just bouncing around. Like, you can't be on a tripod. You've got to learn how. You got to learn actually how to handle your camera.
Yes.
On the fly. how to swing that camera and take that shot at the same time. That's going to be good.
Right.
You kind of got to be in sync, like almost like you're shooting a shotgun.
Right.
Like if you're in sync with the bird with your shotgun, right? Boom, dead bird. It's the same with your camera. The quicker you can get in sync, but whatever. But like if you know what I'm saying, like if you're following that bird with your camera perfectly and taking the shot, that's what you want. But you can't do that on a tripod,
right?
So
and I know I give Matt crap all the time about being a Sony fanboy, but in that situation, like I mean, realistically, even though I shoot with Nikon, I love the Nikon color. I love my camera.
Right.
My autofocus does not compare to your autofocus.
It's fast.
And when you're talking about photographing teal at 20 yards flying by your face, like you've got to have something that's fast.
You got to be fast.
Yeah.
You got to be able to pan, like move your camera fast.
Yeah.
Without being like jumpy.
Yeah.
But smooth.
Yeah.
Like seriously, just like shooting your shotgun. Like you're smooth panning, boom, dead bird.
Yeah.
You're smooth panning with your camera, boom, good shot.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean though? Like boom, it's the same. It's the same principle.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
You just don't have to lead the bird. You can just be right on it.
Yeah.
Versus with a shotgun.
Wasn't that the same when we went out there? Wasn't that the same day that we like crawled? We crawled through there.
Probably.
And then we crawled up on that dead deer.
Yeah, that
Remember
the
that
deer was laying there.
Yeah. Because you're like, what does that smell?
Had EWDs or something.
EWDs.
WD-40. I feel like there's several dead deer in there.
Yeah.
But then we saw like 50 eagles. How many eagles did we count?
That was insane.
Like 30 or so eagles.
Yeah.
And one, like from our one location, we counted like 30 eagles.
Yeah, they were flying all over the place.
Yeah, those were a bunch of young ones, but they were going crazy.
Because we thought that they were...
I thought they were buzzards.
Buzzards or
Because
hawks.
there's so many just circling and flying around. But then you started seeing them doing their like death fall together or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. But
it's their courtship is what it is, basically.
Yeah.
It's they call it the death fall, I think. But for those of you that don't know, the way that eagles determine who their mate is going to be is literally the wildest thing ever. And you'll have to YouTube it and look it up if you don't believe me. But what they do is they fly really high up in the sky, and then they'll latch like their feet together or whatever you want. I don't know. But they'll latch, and then they just stop flapping their wings, and they're like tumbling through the air, falling. And if the male releases before the female, then the female goes on to find a new mate. It is the craziest thing because we were watching
never
them.
heard of it.
Yeah, we were watching them, and we're like,
never heard of that?
Yeah,
No.
Goodness.
we were watching them, and
Pull up YouTube.
That's a good test.
yeah,
I don't want this dude.
yeah, you won't let it die for me.
Yeah.
We do
we-
got a YouTube video out from this day. I think it's on your channel.
It might. I don't know if it's. I think it's a reel.
Of them doing that?
I thought we had a whole
It might
video.
have been a whole video. I'll have to look.
I think we did a whole video.
That might have been on high drive.
Took a lot of memory up
Yeah.
because I was fat.
You were. You were. You were bigger than. What it is crazy to see that the difference between then and now.
It is weird.
Maybe we'll have to redo that video for Last Flight now.
Yeah.
For sure.
Lately, it's
We'll have
not
to-
been as big of a difference.
No, he's not
nice.
eating lunch.
Yeah. No, I'm getting ready to order lunch. But no, yeah. We'll have to put that. Do you still have that video saved?
Probably not.
We'll start up on the Last Flight channel.
Yeah, probably not. I'll have to look and see if I've got it saved somewhere,
Yeah.
but I would assume probably not.
Yeah.
that,
Yeah,
was, that was a long time ago.
that was a long time ago.
At least 4 years, wasn't it? 3 or 4?
That'd be probably 4 years ago.
Yeah. Because that's when I had the 7D Mark II the first time.
And Camouflage Addiction.
Yep.
That was-
Yeah.
I think that was first run turkey calls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
'Cause
Actually,
actually,
I was scrolling through my Facebook memories
Yeah, it
yesterday,
popped up.
and it popped up.
Oh,
I
yeah.
started dying.
Yeah. In the bag.
That's something we got to do. We got to throw up some sound files.
Yeah, we do that. And some
But,
5-minute reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think that's going to be it for today.
I think so, yeah. I think we pretty much covered everything that in the shit show.
Oh, God.
Do you have anything to say, Zach?
I don't got nothing else.
What kind of if we were to
A little robotic on this one.
What kind of-
Okay.
what kind of topics? Do you have any topics that you want to talk about for a minute? Could be
now?
anything. Literally anything.
Life. You want to talk about life?
Yeah.
No, I mean, like the photography stuff. I went out on base one time, and like it's crazy how fast. It's not like hunting. Like not at all. Because like you're sitting there, you hear birds. It's completely different. I don't know why, but like you're sitting there, and all of a sudden you just hear, and like you start looking around, and then you try to put a camera on that stinking thing.
Oh yeah.
It is stupid.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
The
And
one
that's-
time I did it, I instantly was like, I don't know how the frick you get any pictures of those lions. Like by the time I find them,
You got to stay pulled up.
get on them.
You got to stay pulled up, ready.
By the time I find them, get on them, it'd be like
Well, that's-
they're on the water. I'm
Yeah.
just like,
okay.
well, and that's
and
where
it
like
was. They were all like redheads and stuff. They
Yeah.
were just
Yeah, they just died.
Yeah.
Bomb.
straight in.
that's where the Sony autofocus is king at that kind of stuff because it focuses so fast. And
It's setting up your shot, you know.
I mean,
So
yeah.
I'm setting up like I'm hunting, wind to my back. You know,
Yeah.
you at least want that. So when they're coming in, you can at least see them.
Yeah.
Oh, here they come. I'm gonna get ready.
Right.
Versus here they come just shooting over your
Yeah.
back, and it's like you got 2 seconds to do anything.
And I know we preach all the time, like it's not necessarily the camera, it's the cameraman or camera woman.
Oh, yeah.
But in a situation where you're photographing something like that,
That
like,
takes some skill.
Well, that whole
Yeah.
time I
I
was
don't care
sitting
what
there,
camera you got.
yeah, yeah,
The whole time I'm sitting there like holding the camera with his giant lens,
Oh, yeah.
trying to put him on, and he's like,
How do I
"Yeah,
work
change
this thing?"
change this one." He's like, "If it's like a little blurry, change this setting." I'm like, I'm tapping the screen, and I'm focused on water, not the bird.
Why is my picture white?
Yeah. And then you look at this tiny little screen, you're like, "Oh man, that looks really good." And then you blow it up, you're like, "Oh, that sucks."
That sucks. I'm focused 3 foot in front of it on the water.
Oh man,
But no, I think it's time to get some lunch going. I'm hungry.
Yeah, get some
Wrap
lunch.
this sucker up.
I'll get this thing
We got work
produced,
to do.
and we'll get it on, and then we'll have a pretty cool guest next week. So,
All right.
sound good?
Sound good to me.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to this episode. We'll see you on the next one.